And we're live on Touchdowns and Tangents from the Good News radio station. As always, I'm P.E.T.A Camarillo, one half of Touchdowns and Tangents, your Thursday night spot. And across from me on the boards, the ones and twos, the one and only. You might have seen him go viral on Twitter just now. He's serving up double the scum tonight, holding the bag, making you holding the bag. None other than the undisputed hood Chinese champion of the world,
heavyweight shit talker and petty person of the universe. I'm just coming up with titles. Kenneth Frank James Berry. All I know is I got invoices to collect this year.
At Ozo Grande on Twitter. I'm at Pete Certified on Twitter. He's at Ozo Grande. I know that was confusing. Shout out to the X Squad affiliates. Shout out to FBC Radio. Shout out to all our homies that actually listen to our podcast. And
shout out to all the home girls that listen to it, and anybody who I don't know what you claim is your gender.
Wait. Isn't a homies a gender neutral term?
I don't know anymore, dude. Like, now on birth certificates, they have it to where you can identify your own gender. And I'm like, but how do babies know what their gender is? I don't know. Somebody told me, or homie of mine broke it down for me. I was like, but that only works if
I think of homie as like a friend that you invite to your house. Like someone that's cool enough for like you actually like just kick it out the house. Like,
a homie is like someone that your mom said, hey, tell so-and-so I said...
by
the way,
exactly.
my mom said,
My
mom wanted me to tell you to stop cussing so much, and she gonna come up here with a switch and be both.
You be cussing too. What the fuck?
See, mom, I told him.
You be cussing too.
She said she gonna beat both our asses, so we gotta stop cussing. Could you stop cursing, please? I don't want my mom to come at me with a switch.
Please don't say cursing in here.
Using profanity.
Yeah, stop, you square.
Vulgar language.
Stop, before I dig up some of your old tweets.
Oh, so 10 minutes ago?
But yeah, man, before we get to all the...
One second. Some of y'all are wondering, why are they clapping and why did they take 30 minutes to get on the air? Well, because we were eating and we were hungry and it's cold as hell outside. And Pete had to take a piss. He probably missed the entire thing because he did it in the dark. I don't know why. I mean, your phone has a camera on it.
Wow, once again, Kenny the dry snitch strikes again.
Can't dry snitch if... I mean, let's be honest.
You know you just
most dudes.
You can't tell me
most
you
dudes
just
don't
dry
aim
snitch right
perfectly.
now.
Can we be honest? Sometimes.
Okay, can we get off the topic?
That's a nature thing. I'll get to that
because
joke
we
later.
actually have a lot of content to get to.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said peeing, and I mentioned like R. Kelly tweet 30 minutes ago. I'm sorry. I just realized that shit.
Scumbag.
I just realized that.
Double the scum, hold the bag.
Sorry. Bruh. Sorry, but I'm gonna get to that R. Kelly shit later. Because I'm flaming some people. Like I'm flaming a mentality that exists that not everybody wants to talk about.
Do you want to flame up the whole Steelers situation, or do you want to?
I just want to announce.
Let's start with the playoffs. Let's start on.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Let's start on a regular note, and then you can get to your petty. How about that?
Plot twist. We're going to start with the statistical part so we can get to the meat and bones of the show, because I know that's what you want to hear. Shout out to Ryan. She listens every week, and a bunch of other people.
She's going to have some shit for you tonight. I'm excited for that. If she don't hold your ass accountable in the chat, I'm going to be mad.
I mean,
she always be talking shit to me. I don't even say nothing. You're the wild card.
You're starting off with a new year already going at her neck like you didn't learn from the last time she flamed you.
I haven't even gone. I never say anything bad about her.
The lies.
Anyways.
Mentirosa.
Anyways.
I know you know what that means in Spanish, too.
Anyways.
It means liar.
So
¿Cómo se dice liar en español? Mentirosa. First
up, we have the perennial Cowboys losing on Saturday game.
Shout out to Woo!
which is the 4-seeded Cowboys taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Actually, I'm sorry, that's the night game.
Yeah.
Rematch of 10 years ago? Some shit like that?
Yeah, because they had never met
Romo
before.
couldn't hold the ball?
Yeah, Romo botched it. The same way Jason Witten's going to botch it when he does the national title game.
The Cowboys are favored by 2.5 points at home. Who do you like in that game and why?
Seahawks. The Seahawks have a terrible offensive line. Let's just be honest. They're
playing better this year because of all the read option.
What's the one thing all offensive line coaches said when they were first getting in that new batch of freshmen. Run blocking is the foundation to any offense.
That's true.
You have to establish the run. If you cannot move upfield and move people off their square, off their spot against their will, then honestly, passing will do nothing for you.
I just want to shout out DeMarcus Lawrence for
the Savage. Did you see his Twitter stuff?
Pretty much, they asked him what was it like having Haley there, the Hall of Famer, in the.
Shout out to Wu saying Cooper's going to go off because he totally went off at the end of the season. Did he even hit 1,000 yards? Let me check that.
I'm pretty sure he did. And Lawrence pretty much said he brings out the nastiness in everyone, including myself. I might look, cool and calm right now, but honestly, I'll slap the shit out of all you guys for real.
Honestly, that's how I feel in my soul. I'll slap the shit out of everybody on this block right now. Outside, I'll find people. I'll slap the dog shit out your mouth.
But yeah, man,
I love y'all. I'm just playing. I'm not violent.
I think I'm honestly going to have to go with the Seahawks too. Obviously, I'm biased for Pete Carroll, but besides that, I just think Russell Wilson is probably the best player on either team, and having that sort of advantage is major. The only chance I think the Cowboys really have is if they can run the ball like ridiculously. Like I'm talking like 200 yards. Like Zeke's going to need to have a 200-yard game for sure. And even then, Dak Prescott is still going to have to make a play, which I don't know if that's possible because, well, he's Dak Prescott, and we've seen him come up big in big moments, and we've also seen him fall short in big moments. Shout out to Woo, our only resident Cowboys fan, and actually BS3. Shout out to them. Shout out to the X Squad. Next up, man, on Sunday. Wait, there's only one game on Saturday?
Yeah. It's been
no.
Lately, it's been a lot of Saturday games.
I skipped it. So the first game on Saturday is the Colts and their Texans. Huh?
Fam, you need to get that checked out. There's something wrong with you internally.
Huh?
You need to.
I probably won't watch that game.
You got some scuff in your throat.
To be
You
honest,
need to get that shit checked out, bro.
Like, for real, the Texans are always typecasted the first game of the playoffs. And it's always trash, and they somehow win.
And I think they're going to win because their defense is good enough. But, yeah, Jadeveon Clowney just never had 10 sacks in his career, so I don't think he's going to get paid. But he had 9.5 sacks last year and then 9 sacks this season.
With all that talent around him.
How do you not get 10 sacks and you run a 4.53 at 270 pounds?
He should also probably be a 4.3
That I don't know why they keep trying to make him a backer. Like, dog, he's a base defensive end.
Raiders.
I would be so mad if that shit happened, bro. I would be so mad if that shit happened. I'd be ready to unload a clip on Twitter like, wait. So you're telling me
him and
we could have had Khalil Mack and Jadeveon Clowney on the same team?
Honestly, Todd Barr and Jadeveon Clowney should just trade spots.
No.
Barr would be a great stand-up.
Barr is not the same
player. He'd be a
player.
great stand-up.
He's not the same player, dude. He's really a linebacker who can pass rush. He's dropped into coverage.
Yeah,
he actually can play and
stack. He can, but that's what I'm saying.
He can play Sam or Will, but you want him at Sam.
I would want him pass rushing more.
Yeah, but in a 3-4 defense, and what did the Raiders not run? What they could have switched over.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying
they drafted themselves into a hole.
Yeah. All right, so I think we both like the Texans there. Shout out to the newest member of the Noodle Club, Andrew Luck.
No, he had 39 touchdowns and 15 picks this year. Comeback player of the year.
Yeah, throwing ducks.
Okay, no, he threw deep.
He was throwing ducks, though.
Eric Ebron's going to be an all-pro
because
of him.
Our abs are tighter than his spirals.
Wow.
Like, let's be real. He has that Peyton Manning spiral now.
Thank you for finally admitting for a fat dude I still have abs.
That Peyton Manning,
way.
last 2 years in Denver type of spiral.
We talking Case Keenum limp?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, and then on Sunday, we have that's really when the varsity games are. Got the Chargers and the Ravens, the 5 and the 4 seed. Ravens are favored by 3 points at home. Who do you like, KB? Felipe Rios or Lamar Jackson?
Felipe. Okay, they said there's a stat that came out. Lamar Jackson had 147 rushing attempts, which is like an NFL record for quarterbacks. But he didn't start till like week 11, so he did it in like 5 weeks or 6 weeks, and he had 695 rushing yards, an average 4.7 yards a carry. By the way, we're gonna have a bigger talk. I'm gonna wait till Black History Month, but we're gonna have a talk about Josh Allen, how trash he is. I don't care if he threw almost 19 touchdowns. He's trash.
19 touchdowns isn't a lot.
I don't even think he threw a lot.
Now.
I don't even think he threw 19. I'm giving him too much hype. I'm putting too much. There's probably some cap in there. But
so you're taking the Ravens? Is that what you're saying?
Nah, I got to take the Chargers.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to take the Chargers.
If Gordon's coming back, it's too much.
I'm also going to take the Chargers off of the fact.
I want to take the Ravens because I feel like they're going to
upset. Off of the fact that they have
nice.
They have two of the most talented ends in the entire game. And I feel like that's enough to at least contain Lamar Jackson in the read options, because you're talking about guys who are both physical, long, and actually smart football players. So I think they'll be able to contain Lamar, and that's probably going to hurt the Ravens massively. And then finally, final game of Wild Card Weekend, we have the defending champions, Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out to Kirk Cousins. Shout out to Stephon Diggs. Shout out to Adam Thielen. All your top fantasy picks that flopped.
By the way,
in real life,
Stephon Diggs
because they couldn't come up big with another miracle this time, huh?
Stephon Diggs.
Where was your miracle at this time, huh? Was probably frozen under the tundra or under the purple people eaters.
They're probably getting beat up by Minnesota P.E.T.A.
Oh. Point is,
all I know is
Vikings were a Super Bowl contender halfway through the season, as they've been before. Shout out to that Dante Culpepper and Mike Tice team that went 6-0 and didn't make the playoffs. Yeah, Minnesota, you got a history of collapsing. Point is, they gave Kirk Cousins double the bag and no scum.
3 years, $84 million, guaranteed.
Resulted in no playoffs.
His contract's more guaranteed than child support.
In fact, the team looked better with Case Noodle Arm Keenum.
Go Rams. Shout out to Jackie.
And y'all didn't even utilize your running backs properly. You fired DeFilippo too early, and now you're going to hire Hugh Jackson, which actually wouldn't be bad.
It wouldn't be bad.
But they actually run the same scheme, so there's really no point.
And you know, Kirk Cousins
Filippo was under Hugh Jackson.
Kirk Cousins isn't a vertical passer. Sorry.
People want him to be.
He makes the safe throws.
People
For all
want
the
him to
shit
be.
that people give Alex Smith makes some splash plays with his arm. Any other time, though, he's
by all people, you mean you.
I'm not gonna slander a man who might lose his leg. I'm not gonna do that. I already apologized and made my atonement for Alex Smith. But Kirk Cousins has no reason. And this is why I say never trust or draft a Michigan State quarterback. Name one good one.
Stafford
went to Georgia.
No, the other one. Stanton. There you go.
Drew Stanton?
Yeah. I didn't even believe that.
Lifetime bat.
I didn't even believe that.
You didn't. You proud of yourself? You have a family, dude. They're watching you. What are you doing? Be better.
Yeah, where was all this
We were all rooting for you, Pete.
Where was all this R. Kelly outrage against Michigan State last year?
Whoa. We're not mixing those two things right now.
Or Baylor.
First off, by the way, Baylor won.
Penn State.
Baylor won their bowl game.
As you said off air.
Again, that's going to be in my rant. I could go all day on about how abuse.
All right, back to the point.
All I know is
Bears are favored by 6.
But Baylor won their bowl game. You're just going to overlook that. They beat Vanderbilt.
Play the cricket.
Matt Rule's getting NFL interest, by the way.
He really said Vanderbilt on this podcast.
I'm just letting you know. I don't know which one the crickets are.
I don't think we have them anymore. Yeah, we don't. Anyways, who you got? Bears, Eagles.
Bears. The defense is too good. I don't know who they're going to get to cover Tariq Cohen. because he actually was one of the few running backs that averaged 10 yards a catch. By the way, everybody,
I disagree with you.
Hey, Woo, I know you're listening. Cole Beasley had, I think, 3 more receptions than Todd Gurley and still averaged less yards per catch than Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley averaged like 9.8. He literally was 1 catch off from averaging 10 yards a catch.
Bro, you like Cole Beasley. Shut the fuck up.
I hate Cole Beasley.
Yeah,
I like the fact that he can rap.
Yeah.
I don't like him as a receiver. I don't like him as a receiver.
You like him off the field, though,
No,
which
I
is
don't.
weird for... yeah. Anyways, for small receiver. How about
for
that?
a small SMU receiver. Fam, are you saying I don't like white receivers?
I don't, and
I love Jordy Nelson.
And I'm... Stop. No, you don't. You didn't believe that.
First off, you didn't watch him catch 16 touchdown passes at Kansas State after converting from safety. So shut up, fam. I was on those Kansas State teams.
I haven't watched Kansas State since they had that quarterback.
Colin Klein. You don't even know his name.
Since they had that quarterback that they converted to a running back.
Colin Klein.
Is that what it was?
No. You're thinking it was a black dude.
Yep.
I know who you're talking about. Though. I can't remember his name. I think he made this to the league. Can't remember his name.
And when they had like
Colin Klein.
And every other year when they have fast, long, lengthy defensive ends who end up going in the middle rounds and never being heard from again.
First off, Willis is playing pretty good for the Bengals. They had Arthur Brown, who played middle linebacker, and was Bryce Brown's brother, who went to Miami and then ended up at Tennessee and a bunch of other places.
All right, can I get my Eagles and Bears pick?
Go for it. But yeah.
I'm taking Philly, the defending champs, only because, 1, they have the experience the Bears do not have. 2, they're hot as hell right now with Nick Foles. And 3, honestly, they're not afraid of the cold. And 4, like, seriously, the Eagles could run the table again. Because if they win, they're probably going to get the soft-ass Rams next week.
Wow.
Yeah, I said it on air. Bruh. I said it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They'll get the Saints. My bad. The Saints are the 1 seed.
They could beat the Saints. My thing is, actually, yeah, they could beat the Saints. Definitely.
I don't know about that.
In a dome, they could beat the Saints.
I'll take the Saints over them.
Yeah, actually. See, the problem with the Bears is I know how good their defense can be, and their special teams can shock you, but their quarterback, who's actually pretty good, surprisingly, Mitchell Trubisky, he's hurt.
Not if you read PFF.
He got a banged up shoulder. Oh, don't get me started. I know you saw that Pro Football Focus.
Yeah, they had Trubisky ranked as like the 30th
He was ranked behind some really crappy quarterbacks. But when it comes down to the Bears, I would just pick them because Kendall. I think it's Kyle Fuller. He helped lead the league with 2 other people. He had 7 picks. I mean, they've tightened up their defensive backfield a little bit. And again, you still have to run on that defense. I don't think Philly can run on the Bears defense. Roquan Smith is getting better and better. They have speed in their front 7. Akeem Hicks is terrorizing backfields. Like, they're doing some things. I just can't count out that Chicago defense. And I'm not counting out Khalil Mack because I don't know anybody on that offensive line who could block Khalil Mack. Lane Johnson, maybe. But there's
few people in the league who can block Khalil Mack.
I'm like, exactly. How many times has he just taken over games with strip sacks, interceptions? Like, if he gets hot on Nick Foles' trail, Nick Foles is already hurt, you're going to have Nate Sudfeld in the game.
All right, man. So
shout out to Indiana quarterbacks.
Let's get to one of the topics you're burning on today. Shout out to the Jim Rome.
Okay, you just appalled Jackie. She's like, "Wow, Pete, soft ass Rams."
Yeah, they're.
And Wu said the Eagles can't stop anybody. He actually is picking the Colts, Cowboys, Bears, and he thinks the Rams are going to upset the Chargers. I can't go that far, but apparently I'm attached to the Rams somehow. I mean the Ravens. Shout out to Brandon and Jordan. I'm just stuck with that moniker that I'm a Ravens fan somehow. But they made the playoffs.
The Rams are downy soft until further notice. Until they get a playoff win.
Oh, they have C.J. Anderson as a backup.
Until they get a playoff win, I am not crowning the Rams anything other than Ice Trader game.
First off, Migos Culture 2 was trash. Can we just be honest?
Yeah, it really
Culture 2 was a trash album, and then you named your daughter after.
And all their solo albums were kind of trash too.
First off, their singles.
Low key, Takeoff had the best solo album.
He did. First off, I said it. He's the best rapper out of all of them.
Yeah, you have been saying that, but you largely.
I said John Wick is the best. Yeah, John Wick is the best rap song Migos has ever put out.
That's what I was.
Y'all don't even listen to it. You phony asses.
That
shit's my theme music when I wake up.
You literally been defending Takeoff off that one verse.
That's all you need. That's all you need. No. The whole song.
And he finally gave you some more ammunition this year
I didn't even really listen to.
I'm not.
I listened to like the first 7 songs, and I was like, oh, you already proved you can rap, dog. It's great that you got a whole album in. Get yours off. He really did.
Hey, shout out to Reason, man. I'm sorry for sleeping on your album.
TDE.
It was actually nice.
Shout out to. Actually, no, I'm not going to shout them out, but some people I know who have been on him for a while. Another podcast.
All right, man. So next up, a topic you're been burning on. Really, since, I don't know, you came out the womb hating Big Ben. But yeah. Yeah, man, that whole Steelers, Mike Tomlin, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown saga. I mean, Antonio Brown's pretty much been going off on social media, asking for a trade. Tomlin, you go ahead and break it down, KB, since you know it a lot better and can probably do it more entertaining than I can.
Hold on. I just saw something on Twitter that triggered me a little bit. Damn it. What was the question again?
Break down the whole Steelers situation.
All right. So pretty much it came out reports. Antonio Brown's knee wasn't really hurt. He had a huge fight with Big Ben at practice and threw a ball at him and left and didn't communicate with Mike Tomlin.
He went Brandon Marshall.
He punted the ball. No, Brandon Marshall punted the ball. He threw it at Ben. Everybody got hot about it. Other players from other teams like Jarvis Landry and George Kittle from the San Francisco 49ers were like pretty much Kittle tweeted, "What's good, AB?" And Landry pretty much was subtweeting AB, Le'Veon Bell, and Odell Beckham Jr. That'd be horrifying though if Odell Beckham Jr. ended up on the Browns. They're going deep in the playoffs. Like one of them is catching a bunch of passes. You ain't stopping both. But anyway, back to AB. So that's why he didn't play in the game, because he purposely just didn't maintain communication with Mike Tomlin up until it was too late. G. Rosenthal said he could play. They were like, you can get your knee checked out at the facility, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, what can he do? So he pretty much just ended up him being at the game with a big ass coat on, not playing. They had to, I guess, adjust all their stuff with their game plan and everything at the last second. And so because of that, a lot of things have manifested. Big Ben came out pretty much said the whole Le'Veon thing was a distraction. That's what kind of like broke.
Nah, the Raiders whooped their ass and derailed their whole season. That's pretty much what it is.
It's like when somebody like who is also in dysfunction comes across and just says, and you act like you're not dysfunction, and they pretty much read you your whole life. That's what happened. They peeled back the layers of who they are. If I haven't said this before, fuck Josh Norman. Anyway, sorry, Mom. But yeah. Anyway, with the Steelers situation, some people, it was reports that came out that said it was actually probably a good thing that they didn't make the playoffs, because now changes has to be made in this organization. You're not getting back Le'Veon Bell, and you pretty much have to trade Antonio Brown, because him and James Harrison, who has been a known basher of Mike Tomlin, were like on Twitter or whatever saying, they're going to do an Instagram live interview, and everybody's patiently waiting on that the same way they're waiting on a Dr. Dre album. that doesn't have to be mentioned. We all know which one it is. The same way, we're waiting on people like Les Movies and other people who protect.
So where's AB gonna land?
Honestly,
is Le'Veon done?
No. There's more. There is more. Now, players are constantly subtweeting, saying, y'all woke, like Jarvis Landry's doing some campaigning. And when it comes to Antonio Brown, it's like the narrative keeps getting painted that he's a headache, he's a problem. But first off, you got to remember the dude was homeless. And for someone who was homeless for a bit, let me just tell you, it builds a different layer of toughness in your brain. Like, it's just different. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but when you survive conditions like that, it changes you. It builds an extreme confidence in you, but also there's that fire too. And sometimes that fire burns a little bit too bright. But I'll get to that later. But pretty much the fact that he was a 6th-round pick and he worked his way, and people are saying he may have quit on the team. First off, he had over 100 catches, 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns. If you call that shit quitting, ship him to Oakland right now. If that's quitting, bro, I'll take that. You can quit after that. I'll take it. He didn't even play the last game. But the thing is, Big Ben started keying in on Juju Smith-Schuster more, and I get why AP would be mad because, honestly, he's a better player than Juju Smith-Schuster. But I would take Juju Smith-Schuster because he's younger and less of a headache, and I saw him kill cornerbacks in college. Like, this dude stiff-armed and crack back people into oblivion. I'm pretty sure he hit somebody so hard their draft stock exploded. He made Utah cornerbacks his bitch. That's all I can say. Just go back and watch USC versus Utah when Juju Smith-Schuster was playing, and he stiff-armed guys. He embarrassed people. He embarrassed human beings. For a guy who only runs like a 4.52 or 4.54. Shout out to Juju Smith-Schuster. Does great things for the community too, and he's only like 20. Insane. He was actually voted the Steelers team MVP and was also voted Polynesian Athlete of the Year. So, kudos to him. There's layers to this. Ryan Clark. By the way, Antonio Brown was on that new game show where they have people in masks and they sing songs, and he was singing My Prerogative. So, yeah, it was crazy. It was on Fox. So, with that, you have Ryan Clark coming out saying pretty much, I think he was talking about like something in 2011, 2012. They were like, and this is when the receiver before him they were deciding.
Mike Wallace?
Yeah.
Emmanuel Sanders?
Yeah, Mike Wallace. They were deciding, we're about to pay Antonio Brown. They said, watch how that dude reacts when you give him money. Ryan Clark pretty much called him a selfish player who only cares about his stats and his catches. And he talked about a specific game against the Saints where I think he had like 12 catches, 169 yards. No,
Listen,
14
man.
catches, 169 yards.
I'm going to stop you. I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to let you finish, but let me just get this shit off real quick.
Okay, go for it.
As you know, as the listeners know, you and I both have our own smoke with football players who are currently at established media organizations. Specifically,
go like a 2-minute rant. I gotta respond to some shit.
Specifically, I'm talking about Ryan Clark. Like, honestly, I'm so over Ryan Clark. Like, him and Damian Woody and Rodney Harrison, safeties who couldn't play in this modern era, should really stop. Well, I don't know. Try snitching, first of all. Second of all, should actually get some real insight instead of trying to be all
that's real
funny.
insight. He was on the team and a team captain at one point.
I'm just talking about overall his breakdown. Just overall his breakdown.
Saying it's a one-sided breakdown?
I'm talking about just overall his analysis is very showman, and he's really not that good, is what I'm saying. He be on whatever show he's on, NFL Countdown, I think.
Yeah. Fucking
doing dumbass shit instead of actually giving real analysis. It's pretty much the Steelers version of Teddy Bruschi there. But yeah.
Wow. I actually like Ryan Clark.
Corny.
They called him Uncle Tom, though, and I was like, that's too far.
I mean, I can't say that, but
Antonio Brown called him Uncle Tom. And I'm like, black people really got to stop overusing Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom.
Okay.
If you read the book, the Sambo was the bad guy. Uncle Tom, was kind of soft shoeing, but he eventually turned out to be the good guy. But the Sambo, I think what you want to say is Sambo or Coon, and not Uncle Tom. If you're gonna really put your name on that and call someone an Uncle Tom, when you really mean they're a Sambo or a Coon. Know the difference, please. Words matter; they mean something. So
and let's
use
not
them in the proper context.
And let's not pretend that Ryan Clark didn't start the whole Deadskins safety getting a big ass bag but can't play anymore pipeline.
He didn't really get paid for the Redskins like that. He went from the Redskins.
He didn't
to the
really
Steelers.
play good.
No, his last team was the Steelers.
Yeah, but didn't he go from the Steelers to the Redskins and then back to the Steelers?
I think he might have gotten cut. It wasn't a big contract.
Yeah.
It was more like he was still a
Point
no-name.
is,
He was
the
a no-name
Redskins
safety.
always get a bunch of trash safeties, and Ryan Clark is in that bag.
But I think he was that was one of his first teams. Go look it up on Pro Football Focus or whatever. He didn't really. He made a name on himself for the Steelers, not the Redskins.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. He was trash with the Redskins.
He was still young and improving.
Why are you defending Ryan Clark?
I'm trying to defend 3 things right now, but just know,
bro, put your phone down. Nobody cares about your viral tweet right now. You got a show to do.
No, I'm actually answering somebody else, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I'm answering 3 people right now.
Yeah, you don't need to do that right now. Focus on the task at hand.
No, but I'm telling you, he wasn't really anything until he got to the Steelers. That's what I'm telling you. He was a second-round pick out of LSU, and he really didn't do much until he stuck on with the Steelers. But yeah, I get your point.
Are you ready to be wrong?
Always. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Let me know. I don't want to be out here.
He started with the Giants, went to the Redskins, then went to Pittsburgh, and then went back to the Redskins.
It was final year.
Yep.
Because he had the whole, not anemia, but he can't play. I think he has sickle cell, so he can't play in he can't play in Denver. He can't play in high altitudes. That's what I remember. So, yeah, I guess he isn't a Teddy Bruschi boat if you're going to say medically, if you're going to go that route.
Oh, I didn't go that route. Anyways, man, so
but I'm not gonna call him a snitch like Teddy Bruschi because that's a different level of snitch and ass kisser.
So finish your Steelers rant.
So pretty much, yeah, he responded professionally on Twitter, and everybody jumped to his defense as they should. But we're not gonna pretend AB is a saint here. But I'm tired of the narrative that it's always everybody on the Steelers. They don't ever talk about Big Ben and all the stuff that he's done. They only make it about his star receiver or his star running back. It's no, don't do that. Don't sit up here and ignore the fact that the common denominator in all this drama is Big Ben, who was out here allegedly trying to rape or raping or locking women in bathrooms. This is after the first Super Bowl, by the way. After the one that the Steelers defense and Jerome Bettis and them and Willie Parker won, because he didn't really win them that Super Bowl. He kind of
did. Jerome Bettis really win that Super Bowl?
No, it's more Willie Parker.
Yeah,
Willie Parker in the defense. But yeah, bro, I'm tired of we never call out Ben Roethlisberger, and I've already talked about this numerous times on this podcast, where we just don't call out white men when they do really horrible shit because most of y'all got white bosses. But it's cool. Let them keep abusing. Les Moon V's, all these other high-ranking cats. Let them keep abusing.
So real quick,
don't say anything. I want to say something when it's R. Kelly. Whatever. Anyway.
We got to move on. So
he's a hypocrite, and pretty much no one's talking about how Big Ben has been playing like shit. And yeah, he led the league in passing yards because he forces the ball to certain guys, but he also always shits on his teammates, never takes accountability for his own personal actions. And honestly, Mike Vick got more steam and heat for what he did than what Big Ben did, but they'll totally forget that. The fact that the whole Mike Vick situation, him being a Steeler and he was welcome in, and they're like, oh, P.E.T.A kept being on his ass when
we'll get to P.E.T.A later.
Oh yeah, fuck P.E.T.A twice. Shout out for people who already have their beef with P.E.T.A that I know that we won't say their names on here, but yeah. I'm just tired of Ben Roethlisberger never getting.
So how about
I have friends who are Steelers fans?
How about you call out Mike Tomlin?
I'm gonna get to Mike Tomlin in a second
because Mike Tomlin is the enabler of Big Ben.
Mike Tomlin lost this locker room a long time ago.
You're the one who's been saying. I've been saying.
I don't think he should be fired.
2 years.
He shouldn't be fired because there was 5 black head coaches fired, and there's still a bunch of shitty white ones who have jobs. But there's literally studies that they've done studies.
Would you give up a first round pick for Mike Tomlin?
What?
Would you trade for Mike Tomlin?
I'm not trading a head coach. What the fuck is wrong with you?
It happens all the time.
Nah, that's
John
weird.
Gruden got traded.
How many years ago was that?
10 years ago. Doc Rivers got traded.
That's basketball.
Still, point is it happens.
And the Clippers still don't have a ring yet.
Let's
talk about it.
The point is
Let's talk about your trash Clippers.
The point is it happens.
But still.
So you wouldn't give up a first round pick for Mike Tomlin?
No.
Even if you're a sorry ass team that can't draft and fucks up first round picks anyways, you wouldn't do that to get a Super Bowl winning coach?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it. Shout out to BS3 Sports in the chat room. Sorry, I couldn't get this shit up. I was trying to actually see who else was commenting in the chat. I am a Rams fan, Jackie. But
all right, man.
I keep getting pegged to teams just because I picked them.
So we got to move
really
on
like
from
Lamar
the Steelers
Jackson.
shit. So you wanna give your last word on Mike Tomlin and his role in this whole situation?
The Steelers are doing typical companies. They're mimicking the Patriots almost. No heat on the quarterback. No heat on the head coach. It's the star player's fault.
Damn.
And because he's 30, it's just good PR to spin it to blame him and blame Le'Veon. Well, Le'Veon still never got paid, and a lot of those punk-ass Steelers players went through his locker because that's what real men do. Yeah. You couldn't do it when he was there at the facility. You wait till he doesn't show up, and you raid all his shit. That's why y'all didn't make the playoffs. That's why Bud Dupree is a bust.
He's not a bust.
He's a bust.
He's not a bust.
How many sacks did Bud Dupree have this year? He's been in the league almost 5 years. Please run me. By the way, Josh Allen is way better than Bud Dupree. Let's talk about it. And Bud Dupree ran a 4.5.
So real quick, where does Le'Veon Bell and AB land next year?
I think because I'm not going to say Minnesota for Le'Veon because Latavius Murray's leaving Minnesota because he said he doesn't want to be
he had 5.5. Dupree had 5.5 sacks, a forced fumble, and an INT.
Should have had 10 because TJ Watt had 13 and he was getting all the double teams. So what was Dupree doing? Not getting to the quarterback?
He's not a bust. You could say
bro, go look up his stats since he's been in the league. I don't want to hear that.
He's had 6 sacks every year.
How? Okay, how many years has he been in the league?
5. And
has he had anything? Has he had 8 sacks in the
season?
He has
as many sacks as Todd Barr. You're not saying nothing?
Todd Barr plays in a 4-3 defense. Let's not do that. Let's not do that right now.
Weren't they in the same draft class? I'm pretty sure that. Nah, but Dupree came the next year.
How many years has Bud Dupree been in the NFL? 5? 4?
4 years.
Okay, and he hasn't had 8 sacks yet in a season?
No.
TJ Watt's been in the league how many years? 2?
Yeah.
And had 13 in his second year?
That's not fair, though. Come on.
No. Because what pick did Bud Dupree get picked at? 17 or 26 or something?
Yeah, and TJ Watt went later. Yeah, I get it.
Thank you.
Point is, one player
Time out.
player being good doesn't make the other one a bust.
One dude.
Bro, Deion Jordan is a bust. Bud Dupree's not a bust.
Underwhelming. He's close
underwhelming.
to it.
Okay, there you go.
4 years and you still can't get 8 sacks?
I'll give you
he's way more athletic than TJ Watt. He runs a 4.57.
And he should probably be a 4.3 in if we really want to talk about it.
Okay, fine. That's what I think. That's my view on a lot of these cats. They ruin them by putting them. By the time they actually get to a 4-3 defense, they're already washed up.
Old. Lamar Woodley.
Nah, they're washed up and their head is just wired. They're just trained to be a 3-4 defensive end. So there's this weird chimera of a player.
Okay, so where are AB and Le'Veon Bell going?
The Jets might be perfect.
We're late.
The Jets might be perfect because that's what they did to San Antonio Holmes. They traded him.
That was a bust signing.
No, he actually was all right.
No,
the Jets were
Santonio
terrible.
Holmes
The
was
Jets were
trash with the
terrible.
Jets.
The Jets were terrible.
Bro, he made it like a season and a half after signing a record deal.
He got washed.
I totally
He for
forgot
sure got
about
washed.
him.
Yeah,
He was the bridge between Mike Wallace and
he was Brett
Antonio
Favre. I
Brown.
think Brett Favre was on that team too. But yeah, I would also say the Colts. I wouldn't be shocked if they got Le'Veon. The Browns are out of it.
Damn, Santonio Holmes.
Arizona would be
4 years
perfect.
already.
Arizona would actually be perfect if they could pull that trade off, or they could sign.
There's precedent for that.
They could get Antonio Brown. That'd be perfect. The Niners are probably the most ideal spot though, because Kyle Shanahan will tell him, like, "I'll get you and George Kittle the ball, straight up. Everybody else is hurt, and if he can get Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, oh, the Niners are a problem because DeForest Buckner had 12 sacks for a defensive tackle. Armstead is whatever. Solomon Thomas is whatever. But like the Niners, Kyle Shanahan, I think he could work something
Devin
out.
Smith's already out the league.
Yeah, but he had a bunch of torn ACLs, so that's why he just is done. But I think he tried out he got cut by the Packers, I think, or something like that. But yeah, man, I'd say the Jets and the Niners. I don't think the Lions have the juice to even try to make a move like that for Antonio Brown.
I could see the Colts making a play for both, but specifically Bell. And in terms of, I could honestly see the Raiders making a move for AB. To be honest, I think that has either them or the Patriots, because we all know they're willing to take chances on disgruntled receivers. Maybe even the Titans.
Nah,
Yeah,
Titans
fam. No, I'm gonna let you.
You said the Titans, and I just immediately just stopped listening to you.
No, you're on your phone, distracted
No, you
instead
said
of
the
paying
Titans,
attention,
bro. Buffalo.
Stop.
They're gonna send him to Siberia.
You said
yes,
Buffalo.
they're gonna
Stop.
send him to Siberia, dog. They're gonna trade. Maybe they're gonna trade
Kelvin Benjamin his ass.
Yes, they're gonna trade Antonio Brown, and then
How about the Chiefs? If we went to the Chiefs, that'd be nasty.
That's not.
I'll be hot.
That's a bad contract for a bad contract, though. Sammy Watkins for Antonio Brown. Actually, financially, that might be fair. But that's a bad risk. Buffalo is probably where Antonio Brown's going to go. They're going to be huge a-holes about it. Buffalo or the Giants? The Giants will be the Jets. The Jets will be perfect because Sam Darnold needs receivers badly and a running back badly, and they're giving out money. Traymon Johnson, he got a fat contract. The Jets might just want to go all in, but the Colts have the most cap space. They have like $114 million in cap space. So I would have to say, I don't know if you're that sold on Marlon Mack as the number one back.
Definitely not.
You get Le'Veon, hey, he's your third receiver.
I thought he was Stacey Mack until like halfway through last season.
Of course you did, because you don't follow
And I have a lot
University of
GFEs
South
and I'm bad with
Florida.
names.
You don't follow University of South Florida football players like I do.
Anyways, next topic. It's been known infamously as Black Monday in the past. It's the Monday after Week 17 where a bunch of coaches are fired. This year, as you put in the rundown, it was very black
It was
because
a black ass Friday. All the black coaches got fired except two.
Marvin Lewis retired.
He's going to take a role in management.
Vance Joseph fired.
Honestly, John Elway needed a scapegoat.
Wilkes was fired.
Steve Wilkes was fired from the Cardinals. Again, I'm not surprised because the owner is a Trump supporter, but I'm also not surprised that like the franchise is in turmoil, and you switch the defense from a 3-4 to a 4-3. Chandler Jones still put out and had sack production, and you waited too late to start Josh Rosen, but they just kept getting injured. Yeah, they made him a sacrificial lamb, but I don't think they should have fired him. Like, it's wrong. Like, you can't know all that from having a coach in 1 year. Like, firing a head coach in 1 year is not the coach's fault. It's dumbass management's fault. Why did you go all out with that press conference only to fire him after a 3-13 season when guess what? Y'all probably weren't going to make the playoffs anyway with the roster you had.
Todd Bowles was also fired with the Jets.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Which
Todd
that
Bowles
was- that
after
was
4
coming.
years. Yeah.
That was coming.
But all I'm going to say is this.
And lastly, Hugh Jackson, as we already knew, was fired earlier in the season.
Yeah, but
So
I
that
just want
brings it
to.
to two coaches.
I want to go back to Steve Wilkes. He's another sacrificial lamb because I think they're going to do an Oakland type rebuild. The same thing in Miami because Adam Gase got fired, but Adam Gase was going to get fired, but he's white. But that's I'm just talking about organizations and how fits are. I'm not surprised that he got fired.
I feel like when they
The
hired,
the Cardinals organization is in disarray though.
I mean, low key, when they hired Wilkes, like nobody really wanted that job.
Yeah.
Like, let's just talk about it. Like, they took a chance on Wilkes because they felt like they were a better team than they were, and he came in changing up more shit than they liked and ruffling more flavors than they wanted. And I think they just came to the realization Fitz is on his way out. We don't really know what we have with Rosen. Our O-line's still trash after, like, the existence of the franchise.
Can we talk about how the Raiders traded down to give the Cardinals their franchise quarterback, and now they're probably going to take Josh Allen
Yeah.
with the number 1 overall pick, or
Yeah.
Joey Bosa's brother? Kind of shot ourselves
Which-
in the foot. Didn't even get a second
Which,
round
if
pick
Khalil
for it.
Mack and Amari Cooper's agent finesses his way to signing all the top 20 picks, the Raiders are going to have a really long draft and a really long 5 years.
That's
Put it
not
to you
even
that way.
including all the guys who are going to make it from like the second to undrafted, like all that. Oh man, he's going to have to get a ghost agency.
But yeah, man, pretty much. I mean, every year we talk about the Rooney Rule. You know, does it work? Is it effective? Shout out to the LA Times for applauding what they say is their equivalent of the Rooney Rule, and basically, you know, forcing management to interview minority candidates, including LGBTQ and women, for positions.
So non-white men.
Yeah, pretty much. But the point is, with this whole Rooney Rule thing, I mean, ultimately it's supposed to give people more chances, but like, they're not good chances, especially in the case of Wilkes. And I don't know if there's a way of fixing that. So ultimately, the NFL deserves all the scrutiny they're getting, because guess what? Who's going to fill those 5 positions? What, 2 college coaches who've never coached in the pros, and another 2 rehashes, and then maybe 1 of the coordinators from the Super Bowl teams? Like, is that not the breakdown every single year of coaches who get hired? And that's the other thing. That's the other thing about the issue with the Rooney Rule and this whole situation is it only applies to head coaches, but it doesn't address the fact that there are like black assistants who've been assistants for like 20 and 30 years
GMs.
and never even gotten a coordinator position, or scouts, or all
Like
that stuff.
100. That's the thing I was going to say earlier that I forgot. Thank you for reminding me. It was like a study shown that like 114% of white men in the same positions, like they had the same skill set as their black counterparts for coordinator positions, they got promoted. The black dudes didn't.
Well, think about
they
it
either
this
got
way.
demoted or they got no job.
Think about it this way. Sean McVay is a great coach. Like, I'm not saying anything about his.
Eric Bieniemy is a great offensive
I'm not
coordinator
saying
for the
anything
Chiefs.
about Sean McVay as a head coach, but honestly,
He got fast tracked.
yeah.
He got pushed to the line.
I mean, when you compare it to Anthony Lynn, who also didn't really have a coordinator position, also got hired for an LA team.
But that's one of the
But
rare cases
Lynn-
where somebody made the right choice
but Lynn-
and players backed it from other
But besides
teams.
that, Lynn was an assistant coach for like 20 years, like a high-ranking assistant coach, and played in the league. McVay didn't have any of that pedigree.
Yeah.
So it's
In a league that's like
kind of how it is.
70 to almost 80% black.
I mean, even Shanahan didn't have a job. And look at
Kyle Shanahan.
he
That's
was only
nepotism
offensive-
in his dad.
He was only offensive coordinator for what, 1 season?
Nepotism in his father.
And how long was Hugh Jackson? How long did it take for Hugh Jackson to get a second shot?
He came
when
from
was
Dorsey
8-8?
High School too, by the way.
Point is, we always talk about it on this podcast, but There's
this
a problem with
podcast.
leadership overall across our society, and the NFL is no exception. It's just that
You said it's a what? Is it a microcosm of life?
it's just that it's even worse because the labor force is 70% black.
80%, if we're going to be honest. If you're talking about like, there's players, trainers behind the scenes. Like, how many black dudes are like intern coaches and deserve a coaching spot somewhere? John Harbaugh was a special teams coach.
Well, it took.
Think about that.
Well, Bell's got interviewed a couple times before he finally broke through.
Ray Horton got.
Vance Joseph took two.
Remember Ray Horton?
Yeah.
He should have been like. He was like, oh yeah, he was. The Arizona Cardinals had one of the best defenses in the league, and he didn't even. I think he interviewed for the Cleveland Browns job, but he wasn't going to get it. And we saw how that ended up.
All right.
Greg Williams got interviewed. Freddie Kitchens got interviewed for the Browns head coaching gig. It's like, and then Louis Riddick still doesn't have a job with the NFL, but Mike Mayock does. Oh wait,
I mean, Louis Riddick co-signed Mike Mayock, and wasn't Louis Riddick in the front office before?
yeah,
He was with the Eagles.
that was I think the Redskins, and he played in the league. But that was actually one of our next points. I think on there was Mike Mayock was the GM for the Oakland Raiders.
Your first good segue / transition in 104 episodes. Congrats, Kenny. You are 100% right.
I'm really good at this, man. It's a gift. I do it in my own way.
The Oakland Raiders, after what people thought would take a long time, a long-term process, came out of nowhere and signed Mike Mayock as their general manager. Now, you may know Mike Mayock as the NFL analyst who had, I think it was D'Angelo Williams and Rashad Mendenhall over Darren McFadden.
Turns out to be really good picks, too, by the way. I mean, actually, if the Panthers had McFadden.
What I will say about
been
Mayock, and you're talking about someone who watches the combine
Mike
religiously every
Mayock
year.
picked Blaine Gabbert over Cam Newton.
He did do that. But what
There's
I
a couple
will
other people.
say about Mike Mayock is, unlike draft analysis at other major networks, Mayock is not afraid to stray away from the pack. Like, he's not afraid to make some out there prediction. And a lot of times he's wrong, as are most of us. But he's also been right a few times. So it all just comes down to, as a general manager, understanding the cap and understanding the dynamics of running an organization. There's no doubt in my mind that Mike Mayock is a capable scout. And the good thing about this hire is he's already so caught up on the college circuit. There's going to be less of a learning curve when the combine comes. Bro, I don't want to see you. Yeah, dude, you're that kid right now.
I'm over it.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
over
that
it.
kid right now, bro.
I'm over it.
You're that kid right now.
That's disgusting.
In class.
No, I'm not. No, I'm
You're
not.
that kid in class who's distracting everyone around him and not focused on the task at hand. That's what you're doing right now.
Actually, I had something to get on the whole Mike Mayock situation. So just get
I'm
the
not
point
even
off.
done.
I'm waiting
I don't
on
even
you.
know where I am. You're over here reading
you
your damn
do.
tweet.
I'll tell you where you were at.
Okay, go.
You were talking about how
Yeah,
Mayock missed on a couple guys, but
no. What
Yeah.
I was gonna say is the good
Bitch.
thing about the Mike Mayock hire is he's already so plugged into the college circuit. There's gonna be less of a learning curve come the combine and draft season, which is good considering the Raiders are probably gonna fire most of their scouting people as soon
they
as
already
the combine's
fired
over.
Reggie McKenzie's right hand man, right?
Yeah, they did. So pretty much that whole front office and scouting personnel group is going to go through a whole complete overhaul, which they just did 5 years ago when Al Davis died, but that doesn't really matter.
As long as they don't pass on, the next Daniil Hunter.
Biggest
They
thing
probably
though,
will.
I honestly can't write the amount of cliches that Mayock and Gruden are going to share with each
Yo,
other.
that bubble butt shit is uncomfortable, dude. I don't look at another man's ass at the combine, but he got a big old bubble butt. That's
Okay,
suspect.
besides all that.
He needs to quit with that shit.
With the fact that Sheldon Anderson pretty much has his hands in the Raiders Stadium, I do expect the Las Vegas media to totally play patty cake with the Raiders organization, especially with Mayock and Gruden giving them great quotes every single week. So there's that element of it. And honestly, it's more of a wait and see because Mayock hasn't been a GM. And we know he interviewed for the position before when Al Davis was alive, but it didn't work out. So we'll see kind of how it breaks down. I would have liked to see – I wouldn't have mind seeing Louis Riddick in that position.
I think he'd be perfect for the Baltimore Ravens because Ozzie Newsom's like – there's only one dude left, and it's in Miami once Ozzie Newsome retires. And that dude's running football operations now. But I would say with Mayock, the biggest thing is going to be college scouting at positions of need. Like, none of that whole stupid, we can just build and develop a linebacker. No, get the best player available. If you're not going to trade down, get the best player available for what you need. You should be looking at what you lack and go off that. I was talking to Terry in multiple group chats and multiple forums and on Twitter. Like, you build from the trenches out. And the problem with Oakland is, I'm seriously, I really hate that Brandon Parker pick. I really thought it was a terrible, bad pick. I just think they really missed the boat. They could have had Rasheem Green. They could have had. Still, it's a bad pick. He wasn't going to start. And, like, okay, if you get Colton Miller, that solves one of your problems. He can be the right tackle, or fine, the left tackle, make Donald Penn the right tackle. But you don't draft another tackle. Like, no. I would have been looking at Wisconsin like, oh, no, they're going to grow another one. Because Wisconsin's tackle just declared for the draft. No, let me get this off. So, when it comes to that, there were several linebackers in that third round, at least 5 they could have got, who would have been starting from them and probably would have been really good. Defensive linemen, like Rasheem Green, really good. There's cats they could have got. I remember when they passed on Frank Clark, and what did he do? Had 14 sacks this year. Seems to me no one's talking about his domestic violence case at Michigan anymore. That stopped real quick. He's been producing since he's been in the league. I'm saying Mayock should really focus on the 1st and 5th rounds for not just getting guys who can be projects, getting someone who can come in and play. That's what Oakland needs to do. They really need to tighten up on their development and getting guys who can actually play. You get developmental guys between the 5th and the 7th round. You get guys who can come in and start or be spot starters in the 1st and the 4th.
Not if you're Reggie McKenzie, who keeps using that 2nd round to take developmental players.
Which is
was ultimately his undoing.
Honestly.
But
by the way, we never actually had a chance at Chris Jones unless we traded up.
My whole take on
they could have took Chris Jones in the 1st round, but that would be considered a reach if we're being honest.
My whole take on the tackle situation is not, and you alluded to it, is not.
I can name names.
Not them taking tackles. It's the tackles they took, the developmental players who you knew needed a year or 2 of seasoning.
Parker might be a washout in 2 years.
And not even just that, but they're not even like, they were never physical players. Like, you need physical tackles when you have a running back like Marshawn Lynch.
Which they did.
Otherwise, you're no better than Seattle. Shout out to them and Tom Cable.
Not only the Colts when they couldn't get offensive linemen right. But nah, like, yeah, Cable should be fired too, but that's a whole nother story. They just mostly don't have anybody who's has enough balls to tell him he's fired. That's probably why he won't be fired. I won't even come in with tape them knuckles. I would just come in with the piece on my hip, like, yo, Tom, you got to get out. No, I'm just kidding.
You're not though.
What he said. But anyway, when it comes to that, like, bro, they could have got Malik Jefferson out of Texas. Would have solved their coverage problem at linebacker, and just he runs a 4.52. Like, put him in a place to where he can go hit somebody. He can play will linebacker, whatever. Say whatever you need, because their linebackers were terrible. They were god awful this year. Tahir Whitehead, Emmanuel Lemur is not a starting linebacker. They never even played Nicholas Morrow, who actually can be something in coverage. They didn't do that. They could have got Fred Warner, who could have came in and actually fixed their middle linebacker problem. They could have got the dude out of Stanford, Harrison Phillips. He would have actually been a perfect. I'm like, I don't know why they're talking about D tackles. You got old boy out of Michigan. last year, Hurst, and then you got the guy in the second round out of Sam Houston State. I don't know why I'm spacing out on his name right now. Those are your 2 D tackles, and then you have Jelly, who you paid like $30 million. You don't need to draft another defensive tackle for a while. Sorry, you need to be drafting defensive ends and linebackers, but they're stupid. So who knows? I just hope Mayock fixes that problem. It's like just being the one dude in the room like, no, that's an idiotic drafting process. Why are you drafting a guy who can't help you stop the run? Don't say you can't take a corner. Don't say you can't take a safety. Fine, you don't want to take a corner or safety, take linebackers, and you need a running back because they've all been trash as far as I'm concerned. They've all been underperforming. And Marshawn Lynch is gone. He's retired.
All right. Yeah, which shout out to him for trying to smoke a blunt off like the Al Davis torch.
He should go back
legendary.
And do it. Marshawn Lynch is one of my favorite human beings. GOAT. My mom ran track with his mom in high school.
We know you mention it every single week.
I actually don't.
All right, man. Next up, we got a Reuben Foster update. Charges was dropped in the November 24th incident where he allegedly in front of the team hotel called his ex-girlfriend or flew her out there and basically said he wanted to work things out, which she broke down on Good Morning America like last month, saying he wanted to work things out, and she was like, okay, well, I'm going to tell the girls you're talking to that we're getting back together, and he broke her phone and slapped her. And so the 49ers parted ways with him. He ended up signing with the Redskins, but now the charges are dropped, so situation just gets more muddled, and hopefully this guy can get some help and stop getting enabled, but to be continued. Next up, on a better note, I want to shout out DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, the Good News Player of the Week, pretty much donated his playoff check to a
young black child who was murdered by a racist white dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
She's 7 years old.
And he's also...
Let me get her name real quick.
Yeah, and he's also going to help pay for the defense and make sure that person is brought to justice. So shout out to him, man, because even with all this AB and Odell and all this drama receivers, DeAndre Hopkins just continues to be
Jasmine Barnes. Her name was Jasmine Barnes.
Shout out to Jasmine Barnes' family. But yeah, man, Hopkins continues to not only be one of the best receivers on the field, but off the field as well. So shout out to him. And finally, I'm going to get to the Hall of Fame since we never get to it. And then from there, I will throw you the lob for college football, and we'll get to the rants. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So here are the Pro Football Hall of Fame finalists for the upcoming class. We got Tony Gonzalez, shoe-in. Isaac Bruce, Edgerrin James, Ed Reed, another shoe-in. Steve Atwater, Champ Bailey, probably a shoe-in. Ty Law should already be in. John Lynch, never should get in. Tony Baselli should have already been in. Steve Hutchinson should also already be in. Alan Faneca, on the cusp. Kevin Mawai should also be in. Mawai.
I think Faneca's a Hall of Famer. He was their best lineman for the Steelers for years.
Richard Seymour, he'll probably get in down the line.
But I don't know. Was he really a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, probably not. But I could see him getting in. I would still put him in, but not right away. He still has to wait a few years. Don Coryell, Cardinals and Chargers coach. And finally, the legendary Tom Flores.
Wait for it.
Finally, the first time he's ever been a finalist. Even though he's literally won rings as a player, coach, and broadcaster. Oh, but he's not white like John Madden, so he doesn't get the same amount of respect. I got it. Oh, yeah, and the Raiders ousted him on their last season in Oakland because they're scumbags. Honestly, man, I hope the ghost of Al Davis comes and bends Mark Davis over and spanks him just spanks his little Tommy boy ass because he doesn't know what he's doing. All right, man.
What the fuck did you
know
just
what's
say?
even worse? You know what's even worse?
No, that's gross. What?
You know what's really gross though?
What you just said.
Besides that, man.
Fam, that was terrible. Are you okay? You just
I'm
said you
upset.
hope a dude's dead father comes back to spank his ass.
Yeah, he needs to whoop his ass.
Dog,
with the
you could have
switch.
said that
AP style.
You could have said that
AP
in such
style.
a more concise way.
Whatever, man. Point is,
That was gross.
on that same note,
and Jackie, I'm sticking to one team. I'm a Rams fan.
I'm
okay?
also upset.
It's complicated.
That Greg Papa, the long-term voice of the Raiders,
Signed with the Niners.
efficiently sold his soul for clout to be the 49ers broadcaster.
Okay, Ryan.
Now
Perkins,
he's going to be like, touchdown Niners! Scumbags.
I mean,
Double
hey,
the scum, no
he didn't
bag.
fire himself.
That's true.
And
That's
yeah,
true.
Jackie.
And the new broadcaster they got is, the gambling dude?
Yeah, whatever.
I don't even know his name.
I don't care. I don't know enough to
Umhauser or
care.
some shit?
I don't know enough to care. Oh, you mean wait, for the Raiders?
Yeah. The
nasty ass
one,
dude?
Yeah, the one with the Me Too
The
shit.
nasty ass racist dude,
Yeah,
Brett
yeah.
Musburger, racist
Yeah,
ass
there you
nasty
go.
ass
There
Brett
you go.
Musburger.
There you go.
Yeah, fuck him and everyone who loves him. Anyway, but yeah, shout out to Jackie for telling the name of that show, The Masked Singer. I forgot about that, but yeah, he was on there singing Bobby Brown's "My Prerogative," Antonio Brown. Shout out to BS3 Sports and Music X Squad. What's up? We see you. And yeah, Ryan Perkins, it's okay, Pete. You'll go viral for pandering one day too. Damn.
Okay.
Ryan, you might have to call in.
Yeah, she's... Yeah.
You might have to call in because you got a lot of shit you want to get
Yeah,
off your
for
chest.
real. You gotta stop subbing us in the chat.
Like, you're subbing me on Twitter, you're subbing
Yeah,
Pete, like,
yeah.
you're subbing
You
me in like
just
4
call-
different places.
You just calling. All right, man. So, what's your take on the pro football class? Since I already kind of gave my one-liners on them.
A homie of mine actually hit me up about this earlier, and he said, like, there's not enough old guys. Like, Clay Matthews should have got in. He should have been in. There's a lot of older guys who should have been in, but they just, for some stupid reason, they don't. Like, I feel like it should be 15 people to a class every year. Or 11. Treat it like a starting 11. Every year, you could get guys in. Instead, they're dying, and then their families have to be like, oh, he would have loved to be here. Yeah, he would have, but he's fucking dead. Because politics, and you decided to wait till That's why there's a whole lot of black athletes in baseball and in football. They wait till after you die to want to give you. I'd be like, dog, that's when I would come back as a ghost and literally just piss on somebody.
All right, we need to stop.
You would think it's piss, but really, I would just be throwing. I would be like the movie Ghost, where you're just throwing glasses of water at people, think they're getting peed on, but really, I'm just throwing shit at you. That's what I would be doing. I would just come as a ghost just to scare everybody on stage. Like, that's bullshit. Don't wait till these cats are old and dying to not put them in the Hall of Fame that they deserve to be in. That's why I don't like. It's so stupid. And these writers, some of these writers should, honestly, they never played sports. They shouldn't be allowed to talk about sports. They never played the position that they're critiquing that someone should be in. I want to know, how do you critique? I feel like this. If you're the best player during the time you played, there's a case for you in the Hall of Fame. Now, I get it. Some guys are going to be Tony Gonzalez has to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. T.O. should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. Isaac Bruce is a Hall of Famer. He should have been in. Missing with that wide receiver logjam bullshit. You know he's a Hall of Famer. He played during the same era as all those guys, but you're not going to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Honestly, he's probably going to get in because
Hines Ward's going to get escorted into the Hall of Fame.
He's the only receiver on the finalists right now.
Yeah, but Isaac, watch. When Hines Ward comes up, they're going to roll out the red carpet for Hines Ward.
He's already been eligible.
Yeah.
He was eligible like 2 years ago.
Yeah, but when it comes up, they're really going to push for him. And I'm like, so he gets in quicker than a guy like Isaac Bruce?
Now,
he was never better than?
Now I'm seeing the logjam at guard
and
between
corner.
Mawai and
Mawai was the center/guard.
And Hutchinson.
Hutchinson was a guard. Faneca was a guard.
Like who?
Kevin Mawai was the president of the Players Association. He got blackballed at the end of his career. But we don't talk about that.
I would honestly probably give it to Mawai over the other two.
Like I said, Kevin Mawai was
Hutchinson,
the president. He got when he got cut from the Jets, there was like he got on with the Titans, but he was blackballed out of the league for being NFL Players Association president. The same way Eric Winston got blackballed a little bit. Like, we don't talk about that, but cats in the NFL, Players Association presidents, depending on how good they were, they get eased out and politicked out the league. Like Dominic Foxworth was at one point. Went to Maryland, played for the Ravens, a couple other teams. But yeah, that happens. And Kevin Y, he talked about how he was getting blackballed. That's why, like, I have respect for him. I didn't really follow his earlier career when he came out of LSU, but he was a stalwart on those Jets offensive lines. And yeah, all those guys should get in. There should be a huge class of linemen getting in, but I think it's more the modern day players that are getting in. They had a chance to right this wrong and get in guys who have been in earlier and they didn't do it. They really should just have a legends, because I think Clay Matthews was in his last year of eligibility. So now they got to just keep bringing his name up for, like, the legends category. And, that's wrong. That's wrong that he's not in the Hall of Fame, but you keep saying he was a great player, but he was worthy of Hall of Fame, but you're still not putting him in. That's trash to me.
All right, man. So lastly, but certainly not least, your college football spot.
All right.
Let's try to keep this one under 20 minutes, please.
Nah, this one's going to go quick, but I do have a couple questions for you. Let me pull up the one I had. All right. So, Texas beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. So now I got to hear all these whack-ass Texas fans say Texas is back, but, like...
that's their biggest win since Vince Young.
You didn't win the Big 12. So if you didn't win your conference championship, how are you back? And back from what? Sucking ass? Which you still can't beat Maryland. Shout out to linebacker Trey Watson, All-American middle linebacker. All-American linebacker Trey Watson, who I actually had an interview with Terry Biggs from Full Press Coverage. Shout out to you, Terry, getting that interview. And shout out to him. Watson, he was like top 5 hottest things, painful things on earth. And the second one, I think, was like motel showers. He had like a list of them. It was hilarious. We went back and forth on Twitter. It was just like, they don't understand that pain, especially if it's like the worse the shower is usually the sketchier the neighbor, the sketchier the hotel is or motel, and the sketchier the surrounding area is, the worse the shower is. But yeah, everybody, Georgia players were all saying after UCF got beat by LSU, and like everybody, I even got ejected in the LSU game. I sucker punched somebody. I don't know. He was a bitch. He shouldn't have pushed my guy in the back. I didn't play for LSU, but I got ejected from the LSU UFC game, the Fiesta Bowl in Arizona. LSU already was playing without Greedy Williams, who has a daughter and is considered like a top 5 pick at corner out of LSU, so that's why he didn't play. Devin White played. He's the first LSU linebacker to ever win the Buckets Award for best linebacker. He played, and he just loves LSU, and also his family situation is different than Greedy Williams, so that's why he didn't play. Also, Greedy Williams has a brother that plays for Oklahoma State at corner. He got ejected for targeting, which was a stupid... By the way, like, 5 people got ejected from this game for targeting. It was stupid as hell. It was just really bad. Yeah. 1 second. There we go. Okay, so Florida beat the shit out of Michigan. I don't know why Harbaugh hasn't got fired yet, but whatever. The SEC is sitting here saying, they're the dominant conference, but the problem is, Texas was beating Georgia most of that game. So there you go. And they ran the ball down their throats. And apparently play number 8 on Sam Ehlinger's wristband for Texas said, shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. Apparently. Like, don't quote me, but that's essentially what it said on his wristband, play number 8. They even like zoomed in and blew it up. I was like, damn. And that's in regards to Zach Smith flaming that reading I did of Zach Smith flaming Tom Herman on Twitter like a month ago. But yeah. So on to another thing. Kliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator for USC, originally signed on for he signed on to be the offensive coordinator at USC, but he's taking head coaching interviews in the NFL, which is kind of has USC in a frenzy, at least the fan base. They're like, this dude hasn't coached it down for USC, and he's already might take a head coaching job. What kind of bullshit is that? But yeah.
Are you gonna defend your Legion of Troy?
It's Reign of Troy. First off, that's what I used to write for. But when it comes down to it, man, I think it's really just because of the whole spread concept craze is why a guy like him is even getting, a job, a head coaching interview. That's trash for me. He actually has more head coaching experience than Todd Helton, technically. But Helton obviously won Rose Bowls and all that. But yeah, I just disagree with that whole situation. That he shouldn't. If you sign on else, that's why certain cats in that recruiting class still haven't filled out, because it's like if you're running an air raid, you only need a certain amount of running backs. So yeah, whatever though. Also, number 4, P.E.T.A wants the mascot pictures to be banned after Bevo almost ran over and killed Hugga, the fucking Georgia Bulldogs mascot.
Well, to be correct, they've wanted this for a long time. I don't know. But yeah, if we're going to go on that same note, this is something they've been wanting. They're just renewing it after the entire incident. So there's that, which, as we've said many times, P.E.T.A can get the fuck out of here because they euthanize more animals than anybody.
Damn, but they don't tell you that.
And they use scare tactics to build a cult of 17-year-old women with eating disabilities.
Bruh. We're getting P.E.T.A the fuck out of here.
Bro,
right.
I mean, come on, dude. I've had beef with P.E.T.A.
You've
literally.
had beef with P.E.T.A?
With P.E.T.A, with whatever. I've had beef with them since 10th grade.
Oh, this is real for you.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my boy Michael Vick. Fuck P.E.T.A.
All right. So, next
Matter
one.
of fact, where's my fur coat at?
Damn, American Gangster style. Okay, Nick Saban pretty much hates playoff expansion. He hated the expansion to 4 teams, and it's really looking like, why do we have all these people play these games knowing that Clemson and Alabama are the 2 best teams in the country? By the way, Notre Dame got their ass kicked in.
Shout out to Woo.
Shout out to Woo!
Even though I'm low-key an Irish fan, too.
You really are. Punk ass.
But yeah, man, I mean, do we really need to make Alabama and Clemson play an extra game just to see them play? Is that really where we're at in life? If we're going to keep the playoff...
And they're not getting paid, by the way.
If we're going to keep the playoff, we need to get rid of conference championship games and make it an actual playoff and not just something that looks like a playoff. That's all I got to say on
Okay,
that
I thought you were going to say something extra. I was waiting. I was hanging on your word.
Nah. You're just over there tweeting again.
No, I thought you were going to say something else. That's why I stopped and didn't say anything. But anyway.
Next time you go viral before the show, I'm going to need you to just turn off your phone for the whole 2 hours.
Okay, that works.
Yeah. Because you clearly can't handle clout.
Honestly, no.
You're really not handling clout.
I saw something
that
for
well.
Notre Dame that made me laugh really hard the whole time you were talking. I held it in. But yeah, so if they go undefeated again, does Notre Dame get consideration for the playoff? Lie to me and say you think they won't.
Notre Dame is always going to get consideration for the playoffs.
Do they deserve it?
Especially when they're pappying your USC Trojans. So you can blame your Trojans for being overrated and being one of Notre Dame's key victories every time they go to the championship.
What did you just say to me? Excuse you?
Your Trojans are the Chris Paul to Notre Dame getting to the championship every year.
Yeah, sorry, our Skype's down. This is trash. Whatever. Anyway, I can't see who actually said something in the chat room. But, yeah, so... Oh, yeah. We didn't touch on this earlier, but is Eli Manning done? I'm kidding. Of course he is.
All right, let's go to the ranch.
No.
I
got the best.
You're losing your segment now.
No, I'm not. Damn. So, players skipping bowls, players not skipping bowls. Jonathan Allen, Benny Snell, they chose to play. Josh Allen actually had 3 sacks against Penn State, and Kentucky won the bowl game. They won 10 games for the first time since 1977. My bad. And I think he finished the year with 17 sacks. Said, if I'm not the number 1 pick, I don't know who is. Now, Manny Diaz and Miami, they got one of their guys, Joe Jackson, defensive end. He's going to the NFL draft. All their linebackers are coming back. Don't do the wrap it up thing. I'm wrapping it up. So, Manny Diaz, who had signed on to be Temple's head coach, Miami gets their ass clapped badly.
Which, by the way, you've been in this segment for like 15 minutes already.
No, it hasn't been 15 minutes.
I've literally been.
It's been 4 minutes.
It's been longer than that.
It's been 4 minutes. Don't interrupt me. Damn. Anyway, so Manny Diaz decides, you know what? I'm gonna take, since Mark Richt just magically up and retired. Mind you, Temple had recruits ready, all this stuff. So Manny Diaz ended up saying, you know what? I'm gonna be Miami's head coach since there's an opening now. So I guess it's fuck Temple. And then Dana Holgorsen left West Virginia to be Houston's head coach because Major Applewhite got fired. So I just want to ask, should they be forced to sit out a year? You know, since all the recruits like at Temple who thought Manny Diaz was going to be their coach, now they're just stuck in signing days. What, I think in February, like the last day to officially sign. That's kind of shitty. It really is to do kids like that. So the next time college, you hear Mark Emmert or anybody else in college football say they care about the athletes, it's bullshit because Manny Diaz should be forced to sit out a year. Since you're just going to jump from being Temple's head coach back to Miami, and yeah, he fired their whole offensive coaching staff, but you were the defensive coordinator for a defense that gave up a shit ton of points and yardage in your bowl game loss because Wisconsin beat the shit out of Miami, like 35-3. It was embarrassing. So I'm just curious.
I think the biggest thing is he doesn't need to take a year off because he's already going to
be forced to take a year off.
Yeah, pretty
pay
much.
A fine, something.
No, besides that, Miami's probably not going to be relevant again next year. So
all 3 of their starting linebackers are coming back. So it's that.
I mean, Miami hasn't been relevant in what, a decade,
something like that.
Like, bro, come on, Brad Kaya.
Wow, don't say that. Don't talk.
Stephen Morris, come on.
Why you bring up Stephen Morris, dog? I thought you forgot.
He was
that.
actually nice in NCAA.
He was until he wasn't.
Yeah, they had some little
93.
fast receivers that were nice too.
Yeah, but they're starting.
Clyde Walford, Philip Dorsett.
I'm gonna throw up, dog.
Artie Burns.
Another Steeler. Trash.
Point is, I'm not too worried about
their safety
Miami.
is really good though. Rashad Johnson, I think he's really nice.
That's the thing, man. These guys get short-sighted and just see Miami and they don't think, oh, I'm already set up at Temple, which is actually coming up right now, and I could actually stay here and actually pave my own way. Instead, I'm going to try to fill in these shoes that are impossible to fill because they haven't been felt in.
No, they've just been bad. They don't even recruit South Florida anymore.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Uncle Luke was on Twitter going in, like, bro, I brought them Dalvin Cook, Amari Cooper.
Every single month.
He hasn't stopped.
Every single week.
He hasn't stopped. Uncle Luke has not stopped. But yeah, now he says he wants UCF's coordinator.
He's too live for Twitter.
Yeah. Randy Shannon, the University of Central Florida.
Get a pity chuckle for that?
No, you don't. Because our Skype is down and I'm mad now. I wanted to call in, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, one more thing actually, and then I got a question for you. So Deion Sanders,
we don't need to do the last one. That's going to take too much time. Man.
No, it's not. I got my 5. You
don't
have to say your 5. I'm just going to do my 5. But Deion Sanders was openly the Under Armour All-American High School All-Star Game was today, and yeah, Deion Sanders was openly criticizing cats who were practicing earlier in the week. Do you feel like it's cool? And he was like, we might have to send some guys home. These guys aren't really that good. Do you really think it's cool? By the way, his son was a corner or safety playing too. You honestly feel like it's really cool and acceptable for a guy like him or any coach in general to be down talking athletes like that for a high school all-star game that they don't have to be at, by the way?
I think as someone who's, been around Coach Sanders in the combine.
You did run a 5.1. No one believes you.
And he actually said I had good technique and a good start. So shout out to him.
But you didn't run a 5.1. I don't believe you.
I really did. I think the biggest thing, man, is it depends on where it comes from, right? If it's like, old ass head coach, get off my lawn, like these dudes just aren't that good. Like, Dion, you've had your hands in Under Armour for how long? Like, right. I'm pretty sure you have some sort of sway with the players that get selected. So if they're not good, like they're actually not good or not talented, I think somehow that also falls on you. But if it's more of like like these kids don't understand like the opportunity they're being given because they're fucking around in drills and not focused and not really competing, then I'm okay with that because, I mean, obviously, as we've talked about a lot of times on this show, this generation is different and they kind of need structure and all that sort of stuff, even though they're completely against that. Ultimately, though,
like
I don't think Deion Sanders would be the dude to do it out of malice and just to be mean.
Not out of malice, but
so I'm pretty sure there's a reason why he felt that way. Like, I'm pretty sure,
but bro,
he's
like
valid. He doesn't usually do that, and also we also got to mention the fact that what is the Under Armour game like the third high school All-Star game?
It's the U.S. Army one. That's usually the biggest one.
Yeah.
Under Armour only came on recently. I was watching some of the practices.
They've been on for like probably 10 years.
But it's like
a big game for 10. And I think there's another one.
But they had Kayvon Thibodeau, who's like the number one overall prospect. They had a couple guys in there, like high-ranking recruits
overall,
in that game.
This draft class, maybe this recruiting class isn't that good. Maybe it's
no. He's talking about the receivers. He moved some receivers to corner. I'm like, maybe you don't know what the situation is. Maybe like they came here, they're dead ass tired. I don't know if their parents had to pay them to be out there.
Deion also likes his corners who can't tackle. But I guess that's better than the Steelers corners who have no ball skills.
Who can't cover or tackle.
Or have ball skills.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, man. So you want to give your top 5 prospects from the Bulls?
Yeah, I'm going to say Butler out of Iowa State. 6'6", put in work. Colin Johnson out of Texas is going back to school. But yeah, Benny Snell, all-time leading rusher in Kentucky history. Broke that against Penn State. You also have Josh Allen in that same game who had 3 sacks. Monster. He's going to tear up the combine. That's my 3. Number 4, Travion Williams. One of the most underrated running backs in college, and I think he's going to be a steal wherever he goes. People are questioning his speed. He broke off a 93-yard touchdown run. That shit was crazy against I forget who it was against, but he had he killed it. They won their bowl game. He had 236 rushing yards, broke the Texas A&M all-purpose yardage record, and also became the single-season all-time. Or the singles. He broke the record for rushing yards in the season for Texas A&M with like 1780, 1760. So he declared for the draft. He's gonna do some big stuff. So I'm gonna be watching him. And also, I want to see where Paris Campbell goes out of Ohio State, because he broke the Ohio State receiving or catches in the season for Ohio State receivers. I didn't know that Ohio State only had like 5 guys go over 1,000 yards in the history of the program. I didn't know that shit. The same thing with Oregon. Oregon's only had like 1 or 2 guys go over 1,000 yards.
Huff?
I don't think Huff.
Anthony Thomas?
No, it was Jeff Mall.
No,
I didn't think Jeff Mall had it.
I was being facetious.
Okay, yeah. But Ohio State, I was like, damn.
Michael James?
I was like, that's fucked up. Whatchamacallit, with Ohio State, I was like, okay. He broke Michael Thomas's record. Paris Campbell, really fast, highly praised recruit, had over 1,000 yards. So it's him, Michael Thomas. I didn't know Ted Ginn didn't have 1,000-yard season that year. That was shocking to me. Chris Carter. And damn it, David Boston. There's another dude, but I'm forgetting his name. But like I think it was, that wasn't Drew Carter. It was definitely Chris Carter. But yeah, they've only had like 5 guys have 1,000-yard seasons in the history of Ohio State. That was shocking to me. But they do have 2 NFL running backs in Mike Weber and J.K. Dobbins. So they decisively beat Washington. But, it is what it is. Those are my 5. Let's get to the shits.
So, first of all, first thing I want to say is Darren Rovell, former ESPN, I guess he's with the Action Network, whatever that means. But yeah,
I talked about this before.
He pretty much tweeted out a map of all of the most hated teams in the NFL per at Heart of NFL. And basically, this is all based off geotag Twitter data. And the most hated team in more states than anyone else is, of course, the New England Patriots. Outside of that, you also got the Eagles, who got a big portion of the state, largely Texas. And the rest is pretty evenly distributed. You got some Rams hate, you got some Seahawks hate, some Niners hate, some Packers hate, some Bears hate, some Steelers hate, some Cowboys hate, and even a sprinkle of the Ravens. But what you don't see is silver and black on this map. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the Oakland Raiders have hit the point of dysfunction where they're no longer the feared badasses, the nasty renegades, the destroyer of men, the assassins, the Dr. Deaths, all the people you grew up loving and hearing about. Nope, they're not that anymore. Guess what they are? Second round busts and not even relevant to be hated in a single state out of the 50 states in the United States. Al Davis is over here rolling in his grave. What sort of legacy did this man leave if teams don't even care about the Raiders enough to hate on them? Fans don't even care enough about the Raiders to tweet hate at them anymore. That's how irrelevant the silver and black have gotten. And sadly, as someone who is a recovering fan, a free agent of NFL fandom, I really couldn't be more disgusted because for a long time I aligned myself with this sorry excuse for an organization and branded myself alongside them. And now here I'm watching them fall into the pit of irrelevancy. Pretty soon, we're going to be the Minnesota Vikings. Or one of those other Kansas City Chiefs. Those other historic AFL teams that no one cares to hate anymore. But that's my reality in 2019. On that note, man, new year, same shit here. Me, back on my hustling, writing game. And also just doing the same old shit here on Thursday, getting off, talking shit. Yeah, I'm cursing a lot in this rant. Sorry, Mrs. Berry. But yeah, the point is, not a lot is going to change except for my attitude. I'm just going to stop feeling bad about wanting more and just continuing to push and continuing to fight and continuing to pave the ways that I'm doing, because honestly, I think about how much I've done being 3 and 4 times employed over the past 4 years. And I was talking to an old head today who's actually been in journalism for like 20 years. And even he was like, I feel like you've only graduated in 2015. I feel like you've already been I feel like I've known you for like 5 years. Like, I feel like you've been like enriched in LA journalism for a minute already. And I was like, well, it's just because I'm everywhere. Like, honestly. So, man, on that note, I don't have much to say other than I had a good New Year, spending it with my babe and spending it with some of my close friends, my high school teammates, my boys. Shout out to Shane. Shout out to Rayside. Rayside been on this pod. If you're in the Riverside area, man, stop by the Galleria Mall. My boy Rayside, the entrepreneur, got a whole line of CBD products, completely legal. Won't get you high, but will get you right. So make sure you check it out, man. All types of ointments, face creams, shit that actually works and can actually improve the quality of your life. So, yeah, Barbados, I'm giving you a free plug right here on my radio station, man. That's all I got. Peace.
I'm glad we started with love. Or at least you ended with love. Might as well just, I mean, this wasn't even going to be my topic for the rant, but I saw this shit all over Twitter. It just really sparked me to say something. I'm going to just read what I tweeted out that blew the hell up on Twitter earlier. I said, I hope everybody keeps this energy for R. Kelly and all predators like him. That means sexual predators on your block, neighborhood, and city. Start there, ... or in your own families. Most of y'all cowards, though, so Twitter outrage is all you have to offer. # surviving R. Kelly. Now, shit got like over 1,000 likes. I wasn't even expecting that. And like a stupid amount of retweets. And a bunch of people.
500 retweets so far.
A bunch of people were actually commenting and agreeing with me. Other people, well, one person I know was trolling because they threw in like Michael Jackson, and I was like, okay, whatever. But shout out to Ryan. She had something to say, and unfortunately couldn't get the phone line to work properly, so she's calling next week. Pretty sure this issue wasn't going anywhere. But I just want to say that, yeah, I stand by what I tweeted earlier for the simple fact that a lot of people, they get hyped for shit like this, like they act like, oh my God, what happened with R. Kelly's the worst thing ever. And I'm like, dog, people around him have known he was like this for years. It's been a well-kept, it's been a publicly accepted and open secret that R. Kelly's a nasty motherfucker. Y'all all knew. We all knew. Guess what? There's rumors about Jerry Sandusky too. And yeah, we didn't know all the facts, but cats knew he was dirty. And guess what? He eventually went down. But my issue is with people who have all this outrage on Twitter and online because they're just now seeing this Lifetime shit. When it's like, bro, you don't, I bet you, most of y'all have never actually even tried to look up the sexual registration list on people in your own fucking block, in your own neighborhood. But y'all got the audacity to have all this hate, anger, and outrage and sadness to say men ain't shit and this, that, and the third. And bring with the Me Too movement and all this other shit now. But I'm telling you, when it goes off the air, you're going to sit in your house and not do shit. You'll probably tweet up a storm. And I'm not talking about everybody, but I feel like people who don't actually put any skin in the game when it comes to these type of issues, you won't confront the perverted uncle you got, or you won't like. And I've been guilty of this too. Sometimes I go off. When I was younger, I would go off and say things, but I would never be like, well, why did this person say that? Maybe there's some truth to what they said. Maybe I should listen instead of the first thing I do is just denounce what they say. Maybe I should actually pay attention and listen. I just really think that a lot of people on social media, and it's been proven time and time again, because honestly, they'll forget when they realize Madonna got a fake ass and was out there trying to twerk with Ariana Grande's lame ass, or that fucking lame ass Coachella lineup that I'm mad that I was like, you know, I got really hyped for the Coachella lineup when it first dropped last night. I tweeted on it. I was like, oh shit, they got Blood Orange, they got Her, they got Pusha T, they got YG, they got Childish Gambino, And I was like, oh, wait. Then I saw the order. I was like, wait, who are the headliners? Okay, Childish Gambino's the first night. That's kind of a weak undercard. It's mostly pop, EDM, and shit. And then I was like, oh, wait, Idris Elba's going to be at Coachella? That's some wild shit. And then I was like, oh, okay. They saved all the best people for the last fucking day, the third day. And then they had they had Gucci Gang. They got somebody else on the second day that's pretty decent. I'm like,
SOB, RBE, Sheck West.
Sheck West is why I really
Wiz
wanted to go the
Khalifa,
second day. I still want to go.
Juice WRLD.
Bro, when Mo Bamba hits at Coachella.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about saying Friday's a weekday. Friday's actually a really good
Thursday.
day.
No, the middle day.
Like literally, like honestly, the headliners, like the top headliners were kind of trash.
They spread it. Ariana Grande, Tame Impala, and Childish Gambino.
They took that Kanye money and spread it across the bottom, like the mid tier of the lineup.
Yeah, there's much more mid-tier artists that I like, but my issue is
there's some great
you could have just had it with what I'm looking at how they spread it out, and I'm gonna get back to the R. Kelly shit.
Kid Cudi or Pusha T.
I forgot. I said Pusha T, but no, like that's the way they should have did a hip hop day, a hip hop R&B day, pop EDM, and then all the commercial shit on the last day.
I think
because that's when I look at the Coachella lineup, I was like, I don't want to pay $500.
I think
I'm gonna be bored after like 4 or 5 sets.
I think what a lot of people who've never been to Coachella, and I'm not singling you out here, but just overall when people look at the lineup, and even people who've been, I think what they forget is they just look at this picture of the lineup and are like, oh, well, they're kind of like weighing it. But the reality is, even if you listened to music throughout the whole time that you were there, like as much as you could from 1 p.m. to 12 a.m., that's only 10 artists a day. That's only 30 artists for the whole show. That's not including when you're going to get water, when you're going to get food, conflicting sets, because that happens a lot because there's 5 stages. So, like, realistically, like, if there's 20 or 30 people you want to see, you're going to get your money's worth. Like, honestly. And honestly, when you really factor that most of those people are $50 to $200 tickets, like, even if you get 10, you're going to get your money out of it. And if you actually have a group of friends that you fuck with, who you're going to go with and experiment with shit and have fun, like, that's a win-win scenario. Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know. Maybe I got really hyped. I was like, this might be my first Coachella. I could see myself going to this.
Yeah, I already got a ticket. I'm going. I've been out a ticket.
I'm waiting to get one. But, oh yeah, that's some other breaking news I got.
All right, man. But anyway, so hurry up. We got to finish up before I get my ass whipped.
Yeah. Wow. But anyway, back to the R. Kelly shit. A lot of people were like, why are you assuming that everyone isn't doing anything? First off, I don't want to call you stupid if you think that, but you're kind of fucking stupid because I didn't say all people who are on Twitter and social media doing this are going to do nothing. I obviously know that there are people who are going to be obviously pushing, like the directors on Twitter talking about all the people who didn't want to be in the documentary. Like, I don't think she said Beyonce, but I know Jay-Z, a bunch of like high-ranking celebrities. I'm like, I know that there's activists and women out there and people out there who are actually fighting against us in their communities. So I'm not saying you're going to go home and do nothing, but if we're going to be honest, there's a lot of people who have fake outrage about this shit. That's why when you hear about like people getting killed in broad daylight, nobody doing anything about it. Like in New York, there's multiple stories of that like years ago in Central Park and shit like that. That's who I'm talking about. People who see something horrible happening and they choose to do nothing about it. Or they just talk about it, oh, that's horrible. But you ain't really doing shit. So those are the people I'm talking about.
I think your biggest issue.
But people thought I was generalizing. Most people knew I wasn't.
You've had the same point on pretty much every viral movement that happens. Like including Black Lives Matters. Like you've gone off on them too, saying basically the same thing. When
all the attention goes away, what are you gonna do? Nothing. Some of y'all. That's my point. Like I shouldn't have to keep saying some, but not all. If you don't understand that, then
you're part of the problem.
That's an intelligence fucking thing on your part. Because I'm obviously not saying all people, and I'm not gonna keep prefacing saying all people.
Because by then
I said what I said, and if you hit you, only a herd dog hollers. So clearly you feel.
I think even besides that, I think people trying to like defend themselves is really just kind of getting to the root of the issue, because like instead of like being like, oh, like it's one thing to be like, oh, here's a picture of me actually doing some shit at a rally, like getting some legislation through, like, you know, going to support groups, like donating money, like here's screenshots of that. That's and saying I'm not in the overgeneralization that you're talking about, but to just be a Twitter account and reply to it saying don't overgeneralize that, well, like you're kind of the root of the issue, like really seriously, like because you're just trying to make that differentiating factor to like make yourself stand out and making it about you and where you stand in the movement instead of the movement. That's
what I'm saying. There's chicks on Twitter right now going at me because of that. And I'm like, you making this shit about you. Like, I'm sorry somebody hurt you, sweetie, but it wasn't me. I'm sorry whether it was your father, your uncle, whoever hurt you and you feel like I'm calling you a coward because, like, survivors who don't want to say anything. I'm like, I never said that. Those words never came out of my mouth. And that's my issue with a lot of people. Like, they're just lifetime... like they're just like professional lifetime. I don't know how to say it, but it's like they love just being in the moment, dealing with social issues, and then they move on to the next shit. Or like when everybody leaves,
I think it's not even just social issues though. It's just issues in general.
Like when you have to deal with the issues after the fact, when all the attention
we have
is off
short
of it,
attention
you ain't
spans.
doing shit. That's what I'm saying.
And I think it especially gets to the root of you because of like you've literally been crucified for issues that you're passionate about, and
when those same people did nothing,
and you're still living through shit. Like,
yeah. And not even just me. I know people I know women in my family, people I know, friends who have been raped and like shit's happened to them and nobody did anything to rectify that. And like when it comes to my sisters, like I make a vow like, yo, I'll kill a motherfucker who does that. I don't play that shit. God can forgive you. You do that to one of mine, there's no forgiveness and no talking. Like I'll do the bid. I have no problem doing the bid, especially for something like that. But I just don't like it when a lot of people come out the woodworks, and it's usually females coming out the woodworks, taking what I say and then assuming I'm just including them in it. And it's like, please get out your feelings, because I wasn't talking about you. Like, you can go back and read what I said.
You made it about you because you brought something to the table.
I said something and it hit you, and I wasn't even talking about you, and I don't even know you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Only a hurt dog hollers. Because if I didn't say your name, I wasn't fucking talking about you.
But you just want to participate in the conversation and get your clout off of it too.
And I saw
that.
But
all right, man, let's close this shit out.
By the way, I just want to say I found out that one of the classes I needed doesn't exist anymore. But one of the counselors said I could take another class. So I'm going to be taking 6 classes in the spring semester. And then taking like 6 more in the summer. And I'll be graduating. So I'm excited.
I'll believe it when I see it.
It's gonna happen, and I'm talking mad shit when it happens.
I need to see a class schedule.
I'm sitting in class schedule.
I need to see a selfie in class.
The syllabus.
I will sit here and applaud you. Yeah, I need the syllabus.
It's happening, bro. It's finally happening. Again, like I said.
Even then, you might be on some.
I sent you my first test score.
Harvard shit, just sitting in on classes.
Yo, my homie did that in high school one time. He was in AP English Lit, and he wasn't even in the fucking class, and he got an A on the first test. Bro, he had like 1.7 GPA. He's like, why am I here? This shit is easy. He's like, I just did it to prove a point that all this shit is stupid.
Sadly, he was probably put on a special ed track.
Nah, that's the homie though. He good. Well, he actually taught himself how to read. He taught himself how to read.
Like KRS-One?
On some autodidact shit, he taught himself how to
read. All
right,
man. Well, this is Touchdowns and Tangents.
We love y'all. Sorry this is such every episode. Ryan, I know you're probably going to kill me in group chats and all that, but just wait till next week and you can give your full unabashed opinion.
Shout out to our home, the Good News radio station. Shout out to our replay affiliates, FPC Radio.
We'll make sure Skype is on next week.
X-Squad Radio. And shout out to your favorite podcast app where you can find this podcast after Thursdays. All you have to do is type in Touchdowns and Tangents. You can do the and sign or you can do and. It'll pop up. I promise. I've tested it. And yeah, if you listen to it, like it, share it, do whatever you got to do. Help the cause, help the movement. It's topical takes and tangents for the culture every single week. Fuck Teddy Bruschi. He's not invited to our cookout. Shout out to Woo, Ryan, all the other people that listen to our podcast.
Shout out to Damian Woody.
We love you. And yeah, man, shout out to Kenny for finally going viral.
Thanks, I guess.
Peace.
Yeah. Peace.